What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I have to tell you, I've been very busy and it is all right. It's positive busy. So, I get it. I really do get it. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co host, Kevin Branzetti, and I guess Chuck Richards will be joining us sooner than later. And happy Wednesday. It is November. It is getting cold. And hey, bundle up. We have a lot to talk about tonight. New mayor, politics, uh, summit, stuff like that. So there's so much going on. Whatever you want to talk about too, you can please chime in and let us know. We definitely appreciate the feedback and the love. With that being said, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Kevin Branzetti. How are you, sir?
I had to find the unmute button. I'm doing well. Good evening, everyone.
Stuff like that. What's happening? Shout out Kenny. I see you in the building, Kenny. My main man. We got to get up soon, bro. Shout out to everybody watching. Hey, Stefania. Here come Chuck. What's up, Chuck?
Crime fighters. What's going on, baby? How's everybody?
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Everybody, that's Chuck Richards. That's Kevin Branzetti, and I'm your host, Bill Forster. What's up, Vera, with the wonderful last name? Collins, we finally got you. Good afternoon. Good evening. Apologize. I just been, like I said, I've been running so much going on. And like I said, we have a new mayor. We have a new district attorney. We have a lot of different city council people. There's a lot going on in this city. Around the world, we have summits. So much happening. Stefania said, I was about to say Chuck must be at a retreat again. What's good, brother? Brian Washington. Vivian, how are you? Hello, everybody. Let me tell you something. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're willing to talk about. But let's start off, and I'll start off with Kevin. Well, first, let me just give you a rundown. Shout out to the people that's watching on YouTube, people in Facebook. Like it, subscribe to it. Appreciate the podcast, love. One thing I wanted to say to you all is that first Monday of the month, we weren't here, but that's Assemblyman Al Taylor. Al was hitting the ground running, helping Eric and Alvin Bragg and other people. So I can't wait to see who he has coming up in the future, and Jamani Williams and as guests, so we can talk about what's their roles and positions in politics and what are they doing. With that being said, excuse me, the second Monday of the month we have Dr. Marilyn Carter, and you know what the hot topic is all the time right now, but you can always ask her any question that you want to ask her. The third Monday of the month, we have the First Lady of Def Jam, Just Call My Name, jazz, talented R&B vocalist and jazz vocalist, Allison Williams. Like I said, the First Lady of Def Jam. She was the first woman signed to the R&B, signed to Def Jam as an R&B artist, female. And the fourth Monday of the month, we have Pastor Kevin Graves, and we're going to be doing maybe some segments on domestic violence. In and out, and spiritual walk with Pastor Kevin Graves. With that being said, and saying all of that in one breath, we have a new mayor. Kevin, what's your thoughts? Your take, give me your thoughts on the new mayor. Then Chuck, let me know what you're thinking.
I'm excited. He says all the right things, and really, you can only go up. Right. This is definitely the mayor you want to follow. You could screw up a dozen things and still look better than the guy in the office now.
Yeah.
But I hope Eric Adams, our new mayor, follows through on at least half of what he says. Like I said, he says all the right things. I'm intrigued with a lot of his thoughts and ideas. So now it's time to see where it goes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Chuck, what's your take?
Like I said, man, he said and done nothing but positive things throughout the course of his campaign. I'm hoping he's able to reverse some of the nonsense that has been happening over the last 8 years, which I know he probably won't be able to do it all in one day. But it appears that he's definitely comes from the city. He's born and raised in the city. He's gone through the ranks in terms of the police department. He understands the intricacies associated with politics, and he loves Brooklyn. He loves his borough. He loves people. So I'm thinking, like I said very clearly, like, this is the type of mayor that you want. This type of person you want to represent New York, and hopefully he can get rid of some of the buffoonery that's been happening over there in that damn city hall.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like Kevin always says, he's the person that was in there is the great divider. So
No. The other way around. The great unifier.
the great
Everybody
unifier.
hates him.
I'm sorry, the unifier. Yeah, exactly. What's
Yeah.
up, Vivian? How are you? Stefania said, I have a movie for you to watch so far so that we can discuss how the streets never forget movie name Paid in Full. Who are you talking to?
It's my
Telling that to Kevin?
Alpo.
We know definitely about that. That topic I'm going to leave alone. I have my reasons why. If Chuck or Kevin wants to discuss it, feel free. But I have to personally kind of stay out of that conversation. Um, yeah, but just for clarification, everybody knows a big drug kingpin was murdered in Harlem Saturday night, Sunday morning, and Stefania is referencing the movie about his life story, Paid in Full. So, with that being said, and saying all that, uh, Alvin Bragg, first black district attorney. Chuck, what do you think what do you think he needs to do, or what he should do? And then we can go back to what Eric needs to do too. The mayor elect. She said that was for Kevin. What's up, Sean? One of a Harlem legend in basketball, my man Sean Couch in the building. So yeah, Chuck, what do you think Alvin and Eric, pick either one. First thing they need to do, like Pastor Graves always says, like maybe their first 100 days in office, what do you think they need to do and focus on?
Well, like anything else, man, I think first and foremost, it's more about community outreach and trying to find a way of wedging some of the barriers and as well as some of the gaps that have been socially in regards to New York City. So I know for Eric, that's probably something immediately he wants to do. He's already talking about speaking to the unions, especially in regards to these mandates, and trying to find some common ground in order to work with those who in the fire department, the various unions, so that to ensure that the city stays and remains safe. And they both seem to have run on the same agenda in terms of trying to make everyone and anyone in the city feel safe. And their overall foundation has been based on that if people don't feel safe, then they won't come here as tourists. They won't buy houses here. They won't remain here. They won't do anything here. So safety seems to be the most paramount thing for both of them. And I think if they're capable of making people feel safe in the city, then I guess everything else hopefully will fall into place.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I'll let Kevin, and then we'll open it up. Kevin, what do you think they need to do? Either one of them or both of them? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm having some technical issues. So you gotta,
Stats is having 2G problems. All right. Wow. Well, okay, Kevin, get that situated, and we'll hold it down for you. Let us know when you can chime in. First and foremost, like you said, Chuck, Sean said Charlie. He said Charlie Richards is a hero. Three good men. Keep doing what you do. That's Sean Couch, baby.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Yeah. So, first, we know there's going to be administration changes in office. Eric, you're right. Public safety is probably paramount. economics, stuff like that. He, what's up, Prentice? Good two-way brother in the building. Yeah. So yeah, crime is prevalent. I was with, I don't know, I'm not gonna say I was with them. Eric and Alvin, which speaking, and no, Alvin was on the show. He was on Real Talk Chronicles, I think it was. And for those that want to see what he said, go back and look at YouTube and see the excerpt where we had Alvin brag, and it was with Al Taylor, and both of them going off each other, and they're saying, if Eric does what he's going to do, Alvin's job would be easier. I think the one thing that he has to do is get law enforcement back on track. And when I say back on track, it's almost making law enforcement feel like they're appreciated, because we know the mindset, all three of us know the mindset that is right there right now, that they don't feel appreciated. And it's almost they've taken a stance of, well, I'm not going to do anything, a back seat, which is, I've always said, you took an oath. I've seen countless posts of people talking about, I put my life on the line, and they worked in the house. It was house mouses for 15 years and shit. And then they talked about they put their lives on the line. I don't know where were you ducking, paper clips or staplers? But I get it. Then you come on social media and then you want to tell somebody else's war story. I got that too. Shout out to all the real officers that have put their lives on the line in the street. But with that being said, public safety is it. Now, it's going to have to be some changes. Like you said, officers going to have to get back out there and start doing what they're going to do. Also, too, we didn't even talk about the vaccine mandate. Woo! Law enforcement, FD, Cats is calling out. Not going to make me take the vaccine. All right.
Yeah.
Got it. Chuck, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, once again, it all comes down to two things, right? It comes down to public safety. That's one. And two is also looking out for your fellow brother. I mean, if you're legitimately sick, I get it. But come on. I mean, it's very obvious that the timing of it, you got almost over 2,000 firemen, and all of a sudden, they got the flu and nobody can come in. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of a sudden everybody's got some disease or some illness that they just need to stay home, So that being said, like I said before, I think there could have been some other things that could have been done to kind of prohibit such an action such as that. And I think something could have been done in order to work it out with the unions. I mean, of course, at one point there wasn't any issue where guys were getting tested, once a week to ensure they didn't have COVID. And you have those take into consideration that the NYPD, as well as FD and some of these other units, and they were able to function through COVID, through everything and anything throughout the course of when it was at its height. So there has to be some type of reasonable accommodation for that. I know a lot of NYPD officers have decided to go the religious or medical route in terms of not, being vaccinated, which that's still being sought through. But FD, just to do a direct about face, and all of a sudden just to, cash out and everyone going sick all at the same time. I mean, that's just blatant. That's just blatant.
Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Stats, are you with us? Are you having problems?
He's still trying to get his 2G to be 5G.
I'm at 2.5.
When you get it to 3G, right, then you'll be all right. Then you just get it to 3, we all good.
Word.
No, I'm good now. I've heard he already wants to talk about, or he's already talking about reestablishing anti-crime, which is good. But it's still about if the cops are going to believe, the city has their back, right? Like he can reestablish anti-crime. If there's still confusion on, what I'm allowed to do on the street, because we've talked about this, arrests are sometimes not pretty. Sometimes they're ugly. Sometimes your hands get dirty. And if a cop feels every time his hands get dirty in an arrest that he risks his career, his pension, and his freedom, I don't know if it's going to change much, right? Just establishing anti-crime without you get the morale back of the officers.
Kevin, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Why do officers, in your opinion, like you take a job? Why do you feel? Why do you feel? Or why did you say that you feel officers need for the city to have their back? I mean, the bottom line is, I'm just asking your personal opinion, and if you can elaborate it on the best you can. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Bill, so like we've listened to, and I know the diaphragm law, I think, lost in court, and that was tossed. But there are other rules that are being created to make it very difficult, right, for a cop to do his job. There are times you got to use your hands, and there are times you're going to hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. And I've looked at what has gone on this last year and wondered about all the times we've done stuff in our career. Would we have been in today's climate? Would we have been fired?
We all three would have been fired or in trouble.
Absolutely.
And none of the three of us are violent guys, right? No. None of the three of us.
No.
But I ain't never touched a man who was, once it's over, it's over. It's cuffed, done, right? And I ain't gonna never have a part of that with anybody else doing it. I ain't never hit anybody with my stick.
Never.
There was just never a need. Did I have legal right at time to take my stick or my ass and whack somebody? Yeah. But we believed in, like, you wrestle him down, you get his hands behind his back, and that was the end of the game.
Yeah.
You got some scrapes, you got some bruises,
it went with the territory.
Yeah, but you didn't mind. It was hands, right? Like, it's a different story if he pulls a knife. I'm not, using my hands to your knife. If you pulled a knife on me, would I have whacked you with the ass? Heck yeah. If not, shot you, right? One or the other, right? Like, but that part of it, the getting your hands dirty, I wouldn't feel comfortable today. So then how do you do your job? How do you arrest somebody who says no?
Okay, now let me put a little devil's advocate in this. I totally understand what you're saying, not even disputing it. And then Chuck, you can chime in after Kevin starts this again. But what a lot of times what we see, and I know you're going to say, because your stats is not the masses. It may not be New York City per se, but it's not the masses. But a lot of times we've seen poor policing that leads to why people feel the way they feel. Now, blue state, whatever red state you want, red state, certain people are not, certain ethnicities are not getting treated like people of color. That's facts. You agree with that. I agree with that. Chuck agrees with that. But that therein lies the problem. Like, yeah, change, and what kind of change hurts good cops and hurts bad cops? Because the bottom line is, the one thing I would love to say if I spoke to Eric, we're going to have to start looking at an officer's track record too, right? So what, i.e., you or Chuck, you're working, you get into the altercation. Social media makes it look like you tore this cat's ass up. And you maybe rightfully did, right? So now, whatever they're going to do, but now let's look at Chuck's and Kevin's background. Neither one of you, excessive force charges, CCRBs, very minuscule, petty shit. You know what I'm saying? Both of you are the prototype officers. Then whomever is looking at this needs to say, well, wait a minute. This might be a situation that happened because both of these guys, 15, 19 years, You know what I'm saying? Even 10, 9, 10, 13, nah. This situation, we got to look a little deeper than this. Now, the problem lies is when this situation occurs when officer still could be dignified. I mean, righteously doing what he's supposed to do, but this one time now they pull his jacket, pull his record, and he got 12 excessive force charges, 13 CCRBs, a bunch of disciplinary situations. That's not going to look good. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to look good. So, first impressions are paramount. A little kid walking down the street, you could be a good kid, your son, my son, Chuck's son, whomever, and we'd be like, oh, that's a good kid. Next, you hear him saying, F, son of a gun, to a girl, you're gonna be like, yo, what's wrong with that little boy? We, unbeknown to us whose child it is, you're gonna be like, you're a bad little bastard. You know what I'm saying?
Baby's kids, like
exactly. I don't care what he did in school. I just saw what he did right now. You understand what I'm saying? So, first impression is a monster. Chuck, what's your take on that? And then Kev, follow up.
No. I mean, I agree. I think that when you, I know right now in terms of the climate, in terms of police officers, everyone is apprehensive of putting their hands or doing their job. And I get that, and that fear is a real fear. I mean, especially taking into consideration a lot of the changes that have happened with having to expose officers and knowing their background and knowing their history and knowing everything and anything about them. It's about pure transparency. But I always looked at it like this. If in fact I know that my intentions, regardless of the circumstances, my intentions are well, and I know I'm taking corrective action because it's needed, then if it's good intentions, guess what? It'll wash itself out later. So someone may get me on the tail end of they're not seeing the first 2 minutes or 3 minutes of this guy stomping and kicking my ass, but then all of a sudden I get the better of them, and all they get is me finally, the tables turning, and now I'm getting the best of the fight, and now I got him on the ground, and now I'm stomping him out, trying to get his hands behind his back. So it's all about, once again, it's about knowing ethically and morally as a police officer, where do you stand? And I know that sometimes that might not be the thing that goes through cops' minds. I think you and I, as well as Kevin, can say very clearly, when we put our hands on someone, we put our hands on someone because we knew we had to. All right. You told them very clearly, hey, look, just put your hands up on the wall, give me your hands. And now, guess what? It escalates. It goes left, and then all of a sudden, okay, you got to straighten it out. And now you may have to get physical. And at the end of it all, regardless of whether or not we have to use some type of physical force, depending on the level of what we're being addressed with, whether we go to an apps, whether we have to end up using any tool, any resource, the back of your radio, because the guy's got you in a particular area, the only way to get his hands loose from grabbing on something, you may have to you'll use whatever resources to your availability. But the bottom line is that where was your intentions? Your intentions was that day to wake up that morning as a police officer. Well, today I'm going to hurt somebody. Today I'm going to whip somebody's ass. Today I'm going to shoot someone. That's never your pure intentions. Wherever it lies, wherever the situation may take you, that's one thing. But I think if we remain pure on what we came on this job for, and we keep our intentions pure, then guess what? Even for argument's sake, even let's say you do have a couple of CCRBs, right? Some of us know we can get CCRBs very easily. You're an active cop. You're in an area where they don't like the police. And even if you just have words with someone, you're going to get a CCRB, especially in an active precinct. And if you're an active police officer.
Very true.
So even then, that's case by case,
Yeah. Kev?
So just to quickly answer, Stefani asked, what is CCRB? So CCRB is the Civilian Complaint Review Board. That is where people file their complaints against police for whether it's verbal misconduct, physical misconduct, what you believe to be a bad summons, there's discourteous, there's a whole list of anything short of corruption goes to CCRB. And CCRB has its good and its bad side. You can have, Chuck's mentioned it, You can be a good cop and have a couple of CCRBs that are just absolutely unjustified in giving you. And there are cops out there who it's a sign that there's a problem with that cop when you have a lot of them, right? You need to be able to take a deep look at those. Today, I think these things got to be easy. There's probably video of just about everything and anything you ever do. So, to figure out if a CCRB is good or bad shouldn't be that difficult. But a good cop can get a CCRB who didn't deserve it, and a good cop could have a bad day. I Bill, you've told stories. I got stories. Chuck, I'm sure you have them too, where somebody just got you right that day. You weren't in the best of mood. Whatever you're going through in your personal life, we can't be perfect human beings every single day on the street, and once in a while, somebody can get you. And will I shoot my mouth off when I shouldn't have? Sure. Is there a chance of me putting my hands up to somebody to take that challenge? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean I'm a bad cop, but you could be a good cop with a bad day. I think CCRB is a scale. We need to pay attention to it, but just because somebody's got 4 or 5 in their career doesn't mean they've ever really done anything wrong.
And I agree with you because 4 or 5 is not a crazy number to get. Maybe it might. I don't even know if it might probably easier now than it was with us. Because at the time when we were working, somebody you come in that precinct talking about you want to make a CCRB, another cop might say, "Get the hell out this precinct." You know what I'm saying? Right. Fair or unfair.
I can say I never told anybody to get out. But did I sit down and have a lovely, really like a genuine, nice conversation, try to walk them down off the ledge? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because you protected thy brother. But the thing is, I'm all, and trust me, I think we all have seen good cops. And we've all seen maybe some cops. You'd be like, I see why you get CCRBs. You deserve them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's also too, I think, can a good cop get like say let's take a 5-year vet now, 7 years. Can a 7-year vet have 5 CCRBs? Absolutely. But what are the CCRBs that sometimes? Maybe that's why the new administration may have to turn to people like us. I wish they would, to kind of galvanize, not so much to really know the difference. You understand what I'm saying? Because okay, say officer so and so got a CCRB for a person got mad because they wrote them a ticket. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can get one for that. You know what I'm saying? You write somebody a ticket, they felt they was discourteous. Why? Why did you feel he was discourteous? Oh, because I asked him why'd he give me a ticket, and he said license registration. He didn't answer me. Okay, well now he told you after you give him license registration, because we're from the school. Give me your information first before I can tell you what you did. It's up to us to want to say, "Yo, listen, you ran a light. Give me your shit." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You give me your shit anyway. It is what it is. But nowadays, officers pull you. They pull you over. They say "Hi, I'm Officer Foster. You ran a red light over there. Can I have your license registration?" No, I didn't. Can I have your license registration? No, I didn't. I didn't run a red light. It was yellow. It was between green and yellow. It was like tan, purple. You know what I'm saying? Okay, can I have your license registration? You're not gonna give me a ticket. Right. I got a friend of a friend that knows a friend that's on the job. Can I get your license registration, please, sir? You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't be a douche. Give me shit. Give me. All right, now you write a person a ticket, and then he's about, yo, I told you don't give me a ticket, you bastard. Right. Now all of a sudden they call a CCRB. That can happen. That is easy. Okay, now here's another thing. You can get a CCRB because you're just part of the band. You know what I'm saying? You're arresting somebody, and they get Kevin Branzetti's name, but Foster and Chuck. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the situations where I think we like you said, Kev and Chuck, you kind of gotta like nit and pick which one is good and which one is bad. But now Kevin Branzetti has 5 excessive force CCRBs, like my man Fred Richardson said. Shout out to my man Antoine Wesley too, and everybody else. Luckman's in the building. If you got these kind of CCRBs, you might. Fred said you should be fired. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think a person maybe should have 5, 6 excessive force.
Guilty excessive force words.
Key point, Kevin. Very good point. Very good.
John, I'm with you there. If you're guilty on 5 excessive forces, yeah, I think department trial time, and that's probably where it's going.
Yeah.
But that the CCRB board also needs to have some people like us, right? Like retired cops. Not what we outrule everybody. It can't be, it's a 10-person, whatever the CCRB board is, 10 and 7 are us, so we could outvote everything. No, it's just 1 or 2 to give them that perspective. We're asking a unit, the CCRB board, to investigate and judge cops on a job they've never done in their life.
Yeah. That's like
where else does
one
that
of us
exist?
going in and telling the doctor, "Yo, you did that wrong. You cut him. Yeah. You messed up right there." Like shout out to my old partner John Cross in the building. Now what's so funny. Sometimes John was supposed to come on. Hey, Miss Green, I see you in the building. Like I would love to be in a room with you, Kev, John, Chuck, and myself, and sat at a table like that. I really would. Because you and John are probably 2 of the most fairest white guys, and I say this, I really be honest. I've worked with a lot of white guys and the fair ones, but I'm just saying you 2 guys are always willing to listen and try to understand. Not that a lot of don't, but you guys will. John and I have had extensive talks. We almost had we would have talked today, but I was busy. But John and I we sat back and we worked together. We talked. You and I have talked, and I applaud all these kind of officers like yourselves that still want to know why. Like another guy, my man Tim Stewart, that I used to work with. Guys like that wouldn't mind having the conversation to say, what's the difference? What happened? How come? Why do people of color feel this way? You know what I'm saying? Like I even have a conversation one time I remember with my man Timmy Stewart, and we were talking, and like everybody up by their little buff shirts. You know what I'm saying? Representing your precinct or your command, whatever. And guys that live, in Copland, I always call it. You wear your buff shirts. Chuck and I, we might buy a buff shirt, but we're not wearing that shit in the hood.
Absolutely not.
We ain't wearing that
Absolutely
shit. Absolutely
not. I ain't wearing. I'll support, but I ain't wearing that damn thing.
That shit may be for. Let me tell you something, man.
I might walk around the house in it, but I'm not. I'm not wearing that outside. No,
I might paint in that motherfucker.
Right. But other than that, no.
I'm not going up to the grocery store on the corner and hanging out with the guys and talking about 2A precinct or OCCB.
Yeah, absolutely
that
not.
Shit ain't happening.
No, it's not happening.
Nah, I remember I wore a shirt one time. I had I think it was a 2A shirt. I think it might have been I think it might have been a 2A shirt. And I'm up at FDR Park, and we playing ball. Dude's like, "Oh, you a cop? I hate cops." I said, "Okay, but you still ain't stopping this motherfucking jump shot." You better start hating me. You better start. You better leave PD alone, because you better call him busting your ass. So I flipped it, but he really had a problem with the fact that I wore that shirt. Like that gave him an extra incentive to try to foul me harder, and that just made me bust his ass even more on that court. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it would have been a shame if I'd have lost, because then I'd have been upset. But but the damn thing is, I was kind of hot that day. So blessings to that. John Cross said the investigators are first year law students that have never done an investigation. You're right about that, man. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Bernard? My man in the building, my brother. He said, John said, I wear it all the time in Pearl River almost every day. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure your drawer, like I may have a bunch of white shirts that may say Nike or whatever. You got a bunch of and precinct shirts and support Jimmy O'Malley fun and shit. Like yo, I may buy that shit at a racket or but there's no way in hell I'm wearing that shit in the hood, man.
No,
I can't.
Absolutely not.
Because you know what the funny, I get judged, and a lot of people don't understand. To be a person of color, when a person sees you with a law enforcement paraphernalia on, you're a sellout. You're the worst.
Yeah.
Well, I will say it's changed for us too. This last year, I can wear a PD shirt out and get yelled at and spit on in the suburbs too.
Well, you get spit on.
There's a lot of
don't get
anti-police.
Yeah, I'm saying don't get spat on, man. That's nasty.
I didn't say we take it, but
let that red hair get mad. Word, turn into a little devil, like a little heat miser or something, bro. But what's so funny, I mean, the more you go certain places, I mean, still pound for pound, there are people that still love, PD. They will love, because somebody asked me what I do, because we don't look retirement age. I may just say law enforcement. Oh, thank you for your service. I know, thank you. You know what I'm saying? But there are some people because they still want them DA cards and shit. They want them PBA cards. They ain't gonna hey police, but can I have a card? Thank you.
Right.
First of the year. I get December calls. Hey, when you get your shit, I'll at your boy. I haven't heard from you all year. What the fuck? What's up, Gerard?
Oh, man.
I mean, John Cross said, I've never been spat on or ever had a wise crack said to me, I wear them when I show homes now. Do you, well, John, I know you wear them, so, but and John, like I said, John and I have worked together for damn near a big portion of our narcotics careers. And, we've seen the difference. Like one of the most fairest guys I've ever worked with, I go through a door with him any day. And John can tell you stories about me. I mean, I'm indemnified now. The time has elapsed. I've done. Oh man, but Lucky can tell too. Zettine said, "What'd you say? You become a target for sure in the hood." Absolutely, Zet. Ain't nobody wearing it. John said 95% of my wardrobe is police shirts. I know you're a walking catalog. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Miss Weathers? How are you? The professional ghost extraordinaire. Thank you, John. John knows. So that culture in NYPD has to be changed. Oh, no, not in NYPD, and just in law enforcement, because Kevin, you're gonna. As soon as somebody sees you, you're a racist. As soon as somebody sees John, they're a racist. As soon as somebody sees Chuck and I, we're a sellout. You know what I'm saying? So there's no win-win, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you change that culture? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a fucking Tootsie Roll? I don't fucking know.
It's what you're doing here, Bill. People have to sit down and talk.
Demo is in the building. What's up, brother? How are you on YouTube? Don't be fooled by Bill. He didn't take any crap out there. Nah, Demo, you know that. I didn't, and that's why I always say a story only true if somebody can co-sign it. Everybody, most of these people that I work with, narcotics or 2-8, listen, I'm not gonna take too much of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you say it over there, but you ain't gonna say it in my face. What's up, brother Earl? Man, Earl, childhood friend. So we have to change that culture. We have to be. Let me tell you something. The one thing what I do know about most of the John and Jane Q publics that I do know, that I try to associate with, they want to be respected. They were brought up a certain way. And long as they feel they're treated with respect, because don't get us wrong, there are some people, I'm sure we can all tell stories. I mean, female friends, male friends, you'd be like, yo, okay, you pushed the button. You didn't have to keep saying, come on, officer, no, officer, no. You know what I'm saying? Or, we already know. As soon as we hear a story and somebody says, you say, well, what happened? And he says, I said this. He'd be like, yep. Yeah, okay. I knew you was going to get that ticket. Right. You're like, but you kept going.
Right.
Right. Demo, so miss you, bro. Yo, always fun working with you. Lots of good times. I miss you too, Demo. Let's get together and have some lunch, man, or something, or some dinner. Seriously. Let's talk. If your number's still the same, mine is still the same. We got to talk. So we have to change that culture. So now going back to the new mayor, making people feel safe. First, like you said, Kev, you heard maybe anti-crime. Definitely got to bring something back, some kind of legislation back to switch shit up so cops can go out there and do their jobs, right? Cops got to want to do their jobs. Cops got to leave. All my life, I've heard officers talk about, don't talk politics, don't do this, don't do that. Right now, cops are the most political people I've ever seen in my life. Cops are, liberal tards and Democrats and Thuggalins, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, so cops are so political right now.
But I mean, isn't everybody? See, my thing was always,
but not everybody has to gain the trust. The mayor has to change their trust of everybody.
Sergeant Branzetti can't be political, but Kevin Branzetti can be whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, out of uniform, they're allowed to be political.
What I'm trying to say is that how many friends, and I mean the man has to get the trust of everybody. I should have said that. But how many friends? Exactly, John. I would knock a person fronts out in a damn minute. You know that shit. I can't even lie. But I have lost more friends or associates, working relationship people, because of me speaking out and not co-signing law enforcement shit. And then I've heard them tell me, oh, you've changed. Motherfucker, you didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't know me. To pass me at roll call or in a locker room, or we had a racket and you buy me a beer. You know what I'm saying? Because you was at the bar first and we talk about, what unit you're trying to go to and stuff like that. Idle conversation is banter. So, to sit back and think that everybody has a mindset is not the same thing. And that's why I applaud you. I applaud John, because, there are a lot of officers, especially like Chuck. Chuck, I never forget when Chuck was still working and he was like, yo, I watched what you're doing with the podcast. And I told him, I said, whenever you retire, if you want to join, right, Chuck? You know what I'm saying? Because
I remember
sometimes, people are outspoken. I would love for more white officers or Latin officers to speak. I would. How do we solve a problem if people don't communicate? You know how many ghost watchers we got? You understand what I'm saying? And it's okay. I appreciate the ratings. You know what I'm saying? I do. But to make change, You got to be at the table. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, right now, you know, I've seen in the group people talking about not somebody in this group, but you know, I've seen other people talking about, yo, Eric is going to be de Blasio 2.0 because the fact that at the debate, de Blasio and him are cool, so he wasn't going to throw him under the bus and give him a D rating. Everybody knows de Blasio deserved a D rating. You know what I'm saying? He gave him a B plus. All right. You're a little delusional. You know what I'm saying? You know,
right.
Curtis, you know, if I was speaking against a motherfucker wearing a red tam, you know, running for mayor, I'd say whatever I want to say either. Because I mean, you saw the percentages. What do you won by, like a 62-13 landslide?
Something like that, like 62-21 or something like that.
Yo, kid, he wasn't even in the race.
No.
Wasn't even in a race. He got hit during the election. He just taking cats to speaking engagements.
I don't want to go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to leave that alone.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't even a viable candidate to run against him. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell people all the time, this is not even about Dems or pubs. Some people will always stay there with that. It's about right and wrong with me. It really is. You know, listen, I'll tell a person in a minute, he's a good officer. I'll tell a person in another minute, he's a bad officer. It is what it is. And I think that's in lies a lot of problems when we see a lot of officers of different ethnicities and even maybe of color don't call. And when I say call out, nobody wants to be ostracized on the job. Because it's a lonely world out there, and nobody trying to get caught up on no circle code shit. Nobody really, no. You know, you're responding to a job, and they know that's Adam 12, and ain't nobody coming. You know, it's lonely out there. Because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, why don't this person do that? Why don't that person do that?" Yo, it takes a lot, and it takes a real big person to be out there on an island by yourself. It really does. You know, there's been times when I've kind of been close to that, and I put my toe in that water, and the shit has been like, okay, it's a little cold. You know, Chuck can tell you, I came out the academy. I was like, yo, like, dog, you got to calm down. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, and everybody out there in Real Talk land, RTC land, I don't tell a story unless somebody can co-sign it. Chuck is right there. I was coming out already hot at the mouth. You know what I'm saying? And Chuck was a Guardian delegate at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, I say all that to say, I say it with jokes. Kevin Santiago in the building. What's up? A very good boss. You know, Kev, what would you do with this, with what we're going through right now? With how do we get law enforcement back on track? Or how do we get the new mayor to help with you know, unifying law enforcement? What's up, Muriel? How are you? Yolanda Williams. She said, "Hey, John." Vettine said Curtis was a joke. I don't understand how he was even a candidate. I don't even. It was just. Vivian said, "To make change, you have to want change. Some people are good with the status quo. Absolutely. Being in an island by yourself shows your strength." Yo, definitely. Thank you, Vivian. Vivian's another person that worked with me. She says, "Yeah, I spoke my mind at work." Yeah, you know, it was what it was. I mean, you know, I think you really have to be built for that. But saying all of that, we still have to deal with crime in the street. Crime is is crazy. And you know what's so funny? We can talk about the 80s, but you know what's so funny? Back when I think about the 80s and stuff, I think a lot of people was getting high. You know, there might have been a lot of purse snatching and shit, but not all this heinous killing. Right. You know, like I don't remember in the 80s where I was like, oh shit, like I don't want to go outside because they're shooting. I might have been like, yo, I'm not going to that party without my boys because I don't want to get my bomber stolen. You know what I'm saying? The sticking kids. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go ahead,
I don't know, Bill. I think in the 80s we were just oblivious. Right? It was the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock news, and that was the end of it. And, a newspaper. And that can only cover so much. So you didn't know what was going on. Now today we have this thing and we get stuff updates all the time, right? You guys are on news break and getting, flashes, and people are on what's the app where you get the police stuff in your area?
Citizen. Yeah.
We become junkies for this. So that's all you see. So you think it's complete mayhem and you're going to get shot. The 80s were probably worse.
You think so, Kat? What do you think, so?
You know what? I'm going to look up some stats and I'll get back to you.
Oh, shit.
Come on. You knew that was coming.
Everybody, he's back. When that boy get that stat shit going, let me tell you something. He's unstoppable. What's up, Cheese? I see you in the building, man. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Kevin Branzetti, and my co-host, Chuck Richards. If there's anything you want to talk about, please put it in. We have a new mayor. We have a new district attorney. I don't know what else, anything prevalent right now. Virginia, they changed. They're red right now. Jersey is still up in the air, right? They're still counting votes right now.
No, they're done. He won. Murphy won.
Okay, Murphy. That was just by the.
That was close. Close.
As they said, by the hair of his chinny chin chin. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit was real hot. No matter who you wanted to win or not, it's neither nor to me. I really don't care. I'm glad you voted. If you didn't vote, I really don't want to hear your mouth. You know why? Because that means that's like a person, like you said, Kevin and Chuck. Well, not you, Chuck, but Kevin said that's like a person that never did this job, telling somebody how to do it. You know what I'm saying? You listen. Let me tell you something. To be a Monday morning quarterbacker, when it comes to law enforcement, is a very hard job. Also, too, it's like I think there are so many jobs that you probably can Monday morning quarterback besides like law enforcement. Like even a doctor. We know when we first meet a doctor, we're looking for bedside manner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like even if a doctor, like we see the commercial, dude comes in, hey, I don't know if it was a Geico commercial or whatever. It was like, dude comes in, hey, what's going on? He was like, I just got reinstated. They was like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, how you feeling? You nervous? He said, yeah. He said, me too. He said, all right, I see you operating this shit. Like, yo, wait a minute. All right, you nice, but you ain't fucking operating on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But, you go to a doctor, you look at his credentials, you look at Yelp, you know what I'm saying? Well, like what people said, wrote about him, you Google him. Yo, you see a doc with a chicken bone and a spatula, and you talk about, like he got like 9 lawsuits, like that. He's not the cat that's gonna operate on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much he talks to me at the day. Like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, you look good. Your wife, she cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Imagine that. You go see a doctor, yeah, what's your problem today and shit? You know what I'm saying? And he scratches his head. What's your name, Malika? Oh, man. So, yeah. Kevin, we got any videos or anything you want to show or talk about, Kev? Stats? Stefania said, what do you guys think about Letitia running for governor? I will tell you this. It's a strong possibility that she will. I mean, she's gonna run against what's the lady that's in there now?
Hochul.
The Hochul, yes.
Yeah.
But
there's also a rumor that what is it? The new public advocate,
Jamani Williams.
He's doing
like a little trial test right now.
Yeah, he's putting on an exploratory team, see what it looks like.
Yeah. But he going out here. Here's the panel. Here, Fill us out. Let me know what you think. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're going to do with Jumaane. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man!
Didn't he? Because he tried before with the actress, right? He was trying to go with the lieutenant governor. Well, didn't he try with the Sex on the City lady? I forgot her name.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. So I don't know. Letitia, I think listen, right now, I don't even know what to say. You know, like New York in like the 5 boroughs is blue. Just, you know, upstate it might be red, but
I would say that would be a hard stretch. I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it seems like Hochul is getting a great deal of support. Matter of fact, a prime example is, I forgot who I think her name was, Gail Brewer. I guess she was running last night, and I just happened to be downtown at Blondie's, and who walks in? The governor walks in, but an entourage of people, and I didn't even know she was showing up. So she stops, she takes photo ops, and it appears that she's trying to get more entrenched into the city, right? She's trying to get to know more people within the 5 boroughs. So that being said, when in fact she does run, other than the people that she has connection to that are upstate, right? Because she looks like them, she speaks like them, she lives like them, she can also make a connection down here in the 5 boroughs. So unless, you know, Letitia James is in a position that she could actually associate herself with those people that are upstaters, which, like I said, maybe here we're like more Democrats down here, but it's something about upstate. People who live in those particular regions, they seem to be more. It seems to be more of a red state up there. I mean, than anything else. So I just don't. There may be some disc. I mean, I think she can go for it, but I think it may be a hard sell. She would really, really have to turn on something that would just make those people look in the other direction.
I don't know about, you know, that. Look, it's a little more red upstate, but there's far more people down in the New York City area than all of upstate, which is why you had lots of Democrat governors. So becoming a Democrat governor in a state that's still mostly Democrat, it's not that difficult.
Well, the one thing that we do know, I mean, and then I'll let you finish, Kevin, you can be any party you want to. Who you vote for is who you vote for. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you know, I remember when my father was a Republican, and then all of a sudden, you know, he'd be like, "Yo, I ain't voting for that crap, that clown." You know what I'm saying? He a fool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he should.
You know, or if it wasn't for the people, you know, I mean, and then, you know, a lot of people don't know. A lot of times I hear people give half a history. You know what I'm saying? And when you hear a person talk about, oh, well, once upon a time, Democrats owned slavery. Yeah, but they don't talk about that the Republicans, the Democrats back then became Republicans, and those were the ones that had slavery. You know what I'm saying? So let's not talk about what the Democrats did if you don't know the history of that. With that being said and saying all that, what do you think Alvin Bragg should do, Chuck? I mean, you know, he comes with a lot of things. Like, he's been on the show before. I'm sure I will try to get him back. I will even try to get Eric. I will push Al Taylor's buttons to make sure he can get Jumaane Williams, and Brian Benjamin. And just like you said, Holcomb, she made a small move when she put Brian Benjamin as her lieutenant governor. Shout out to Brian Benjamin, my man. That's my dude. He just had another baby, so applaud him for that. Congratulations on that, him and his wife, lovely wife. And so now you splitting these votes. You know, because, you know, at one time people gonna be like, yo, Brian gonna be like, yo, vote for me. I'm rocking with her. Letitia come out the gate. Who's she gonna put on? You know, she's gonna put on Kevin. She's gonna put Stats. Don't let. Did you see Stats right now with Letitia James like this? Like, no, excuse me, you're wrong, sir. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he'll be like, no, listen, check this out. He was like, I Googled this, or he checked it out. He said, I went to his stats, you know?
Yeah, I would help her out pretty much, right? Every debate, like, that's not true. Here's why. Stick it to him.
Oh, also, too, there's 2 trials that's going on right now. What's the guy, the young man's name? Kyle so-and-so. You muted. What's his name?
Rittenhouse.
Yeah. He's on trial now. The trials have started. I'm gonna see if I could watch that, go to court TV and see what's going on with his self. And then the other one that's supposed to be still selecting for Amir Aubrey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So things are different, you know. Anything you want to talk about, Kev? Oh no, did I ask y'all about the I know, Kev, that might be a little different topic for you, but I'll ask Chuck. I know. Thank you, Kevin. I just reminded when I looked at you. Chuck, what do you think Benjamin, not Benjamin, Alvin Bragg would have to do? Because the one thing Alvin said when he came on his show, he's like, he's the first person that's not generational DA. You know, I guess a lot of them have been generational or been in the politics or something like that. He's the first timer. What's up, Smiley saying? Hey, Paula. Hey, Veronica. How are you? So, what's up, Rock? Rock, one day I'm going to have to get you on the show, man. See your point of view on certain things. Matter of fact, Kev, Chuck, who would you like to see as a new PC?
Both rumor has is that he's looking to split. I mean, all right, so he sent Banks in to start rustling some feathers and doing some type of exploratory issues within the police department. So Banks has been actually working directly with talking to all the various chiefs and getting an understanding of what they do, what the different units are, on behalf of Eric Adams. So he's definitely in the police department right now, just walking around rustling a lot of feathers, and a lot of people are quite nervous. All right, because, you know, rightly so, they're nervous because they're saying, wow, I don't know, maybe I might be the next guy that you put on the newspaper and there's 4 of us being ousted and all of a sudden we getting rid of units and the whole 9 yards. So rightly so. But it appears that from what I'm hearing by rumors that he's looking to split the office of the PC.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get an understanding of what that would entail in terms of splitting the office. And supposedly, from what I was told very clearly, he's definitely wants one of the entities to be a female. All right.
You're right. You're right, Chuck. You're very right.
I'm just saying. So far, so good. So
well, you got good ears too. You got good ears.
Yeah. I got my. I got good sources, man. So it appears that that's the
good
direction
sources. The guy go to public news and said it.
Well, no, don't get out of here. He wouldn't say that.
He blew you up and shit, man. He blew you up.
You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna say something like that, right? You're just gonna blow me up. No, but I didn't get that from him. No. I got it. Honestly, I got the information because there's someone who happens to be on the board of directors who works directly in his camp, and he kind of sat me down and kind of broke it down to me as a science of what his thought process would be. But it appears that the person that's kind of like jockeying to be the PC is what's that sister's name? She's now chief of patrol. Oh, that's right. Yes, Juanita Holmes. It appears that she adamantly wants to be the police commissioner. I wouldn't be surprised, depending on her affiliation and the closeness that she does have with Eric, that she might not be a part of that equation. I don't know. But what I would say is that if he is going to bring in someone or have someone who is going to be the PC, officers don't respond very well to outsiders. They usually want their PC to be somebody that generally they hope came through the ranks and has been in law enforcement, especially if in fact they are within the NYPD. So I would hope that he would utilize someone within the police department, someone who's in NYPD to be the next police commissioner. But once again, he's not one of those. Eric goes by, the beat of his own drum. So he may throw a wrench and bring somebody from the outside. he may bring back Banks and make Banks the PC for all we know. I mean,
yeah. What I did hear, piggybacking off of what you said, is that I think he wants one to handle patrol stuff, like department stuff, and one PC to handle community relationship stuff. Both of them having dual status. I don't know how that works, but like, yo,
yeah. So
I mean, you know, we as people, we don't like change. You know, we've all worked with one PC for all our lives, but now all of a sudden, now you want to do something. Okay. Do you have anybody that you know that you think, Kev, that you might like to see as a PC? And we got to get rid of those old guards. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can't bring Kelly back for a 19th time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We can't bring Bratton back for a 15th time. You know, I'm sure Shay and all of them are out of here. You know what I'm saying? Jamel Jones, what's up? Teresa Shorts, how are you? Ruthie, what's going on? So, do you care? Do you care? Go ahead, Kev.
Honestly, I don't have somebody in mind who I think would be the next PC. I have thoughts on what things they should be doing and trying and to.
Well, what do you think? What would you like to see them do in their first 100 days, Kev? What would you like to see a PC do? Because you said it early in the show about getting the support of the police department.
You got to get support two directions, right? You got to get support of the cops and support of the public.
Yeah. Which one you think is more important?
Neither. Both are the same. You can't do one and not the other.
I agree.
We've had enough of. I've had enough of politicians who say that it's this side or that side. F you. How about both? Is kind of my stance on that. So can you do both? So like something. Look, he's already said he's going to put back anti-crime, and I think that's a good start. I would have the anti-crime guys though. So we're doing communicating, talking. So when we were cops, anti-crime team, you came in, you did your job. I enjoyed it, right? I enjoyed SNU, but we didn't react or interact with the public at all, in a good sense. Meaning, like you didn't go to council meetings, you didn't talk at the high school once in a while. That's needed. So I think you have the crime guys come back, but you also make them attend a monthly community council meeting. Get to know the people they're policing, right? Show up at a high school. I got to say goodnight to my little guy.
Go ahead. Go. Piggybacking off what he said, Chuck, Rock said, make Harrison the next PC and Juanita Holmes chief of department. Rock, I don't know if you heard. I've heard Harrison is out of here. He's going to Suffolk County. And I've heard Juanita Holmes is the likely choice. I've also heard that Patrol hates her.
Yeah, I've heard that.
What's up, cuz? I mean, I've heard she's implementing like kiosks at the precinct. Like if you go in and like push a ticket, you don't get a service in a minute. Now you can get somebody a CCRB. That's BS. A precinct is not meant for that. The one thing that I don't want, I know NYPD is a business, but I don't want. It's still a paramilitary organization. It can't be a paramilitary organization in the inner structure, but outside the structure, it's like a cupcake, city. You know what I'm saying, Chuck? Like
that's Kelly's fault.
Huh?
That's Kelly's fault. That's Kelly's fault because
when
he became PC, he looked at the New York City Police Department as a two-pronged issue. One, as a Fortune 500 company, and two, as a haven for educated officers. So he wanted educated officers, and he wanted to treat the police department as if it was a Fortune 500 company.
Right.
I'm sorry. When you're talking about a paramilitary organization, okay, I'm not sure I don't know if a better educated officer in terms of having an associate's degree makes you a better cop. I don't know, because I'm not sure about that, because as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of these cats that have had college degrees, and they've done the most heinous, stupid shit on this job that I could ever imagine. All right. They've done things that I just don't even understand. And then here it is on the flip side. You want to try to make this into a corporation by bringing in outside entities like analysts and doing all this other stuff to figure out, well, what's the best way of engineering and taking care of and suiting certain issues, services within the police department, what to do in terms of boosting morale. You don't have to pay an outside analyst. You don't have to bring in people who are from IBM and all these other freaking companies to try to figure that out. Why don't you ask the cops? It's simple, right? If you want to know what the issues are with your employees, you don't bring an outside agency to try to look at and crunch numbers and data to figure out what the problem is. Why don't you just ask the cops? And maybe you get an idea. And I think that's what, when Braden came in the second time, he actually had cops doing a survey because he wanted to understand why the morale was in the basement. Like, what were the issues associated with why cops didn't feel wanted, they didn't feel supported. And I have to say, I think for the first time in my history being on the job, to have someone take that approach to actually ask the police officers, what is it that you're experiencing that's making your job harder? Or why is it you don't feel appreciated? I think that was a step in the right direction. By the same token, I also think that type of survey could have also been given, as Kevin was saying, if you had also done that as a two-pronged approach with the community, and then we could have met somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have been just the police officers. That same approach could have been done to the community. And then in the essence, you could have forged the two together. And now you can meet in the middle and figure out what the issues internally the police officers going through dealing with the community and what the community is going through with the police officer. And then we meet somewhere in the middle. We have a dialogue and we can start to fix the problem, you know?
Chuck, I mean, Kevin.
Sorry about that. You know, he's 6 years old. He was real good. He was good for an hour. I gotta give the little man credit. For an hour, he leaves me alone. That's, you know,
yeah,
impressive. So my kids are good. So when I tell them, I always, you know, I always tuck them in.
You got to give, you know what,
so
you got to do, like my mom used to do us when we were kids. Give them Robitussin. No. Give him some Robitussin.
Maybe out like this.
Knock that way.
like a damn dope fiend and some shit. Maybe like Robitussin.
I might have done that a couple of times for flights, long drives on vacation. Right. I might have. I'm not going to admit or deny or answer any more questions.
Yo, you know we don't have no problems. You put little man to sleep. You got a good kid. The one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see you say, wait a minute, and then something get thrown upside your head. You'd be like, oh, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? So yeah, Kev, what do you think? Like, you know, it's a really uphill battle in a lot of things that we're doing. Rock had also, he said, to the cause they hate her. Name one chief of patrol that was like, I like Estevillo, I like Morange.
I'm going way back. I'm going way back. As I remember David Scott when he was.
Chief Scott from the 2-8.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, he was a good chief. He was a good chief of patrol.
Yeah. So sorry, Rock. I didn't mean to bust your bubble on that one, though. You know, what's up, Lamont? He said, "Oh my Lord, Robitussin fixes everything. It sure does. Keep that chest nice and warm and shit. Go right to sleep." What's up, shit? Hey, Eunice said you are exactly on point, Chuck. Collins is always good to see Collins back. So Malika is back in here.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Malika.
Yes.
Hey, Malika.
So we have been working hard. We have been doing our due diligence. Trust me, all over the city. We're going to talk about?
We were talking about, you know, what things that have to be done. Police commissioner, community. You know,
so, yeah.
He's got the hardest task I've ever seen. Right, it really is. The goal to get both sides back working together, when everybody before him was just putting a wedge in it and separating it. So that's a long road to travel. I'm intrigued to see how he goes about it. I'm intrigued to see what his plans are. He talks about it. Let's see.
I have to end this early tonight. Malika and I have to take care of a situation. Everybody, I apologize for that. I would let Chuck and Kevin go on, but then who knows what will happen to Real Talk Chronicles.
Throw the flag.
Listen, trust me. I trust you. I would love to be watching.
And we just sit here.
Yo, you know I'm going to do that one day. One day I'm gonna step away, and I want you two guys. I want to see what's going to happen. Kevin going to be like, "No, Chuck, no, stats.
No,
I got stats." Both of them going to be out here statisticians. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I gotta go. I had to take care of some personal stuff.
And I did look it up. The crime rate in the 80s was worse than today.
Really?
By a long shot. Yeah. It was we were doing 2,000 murders a year throughout the whole 80s. A little shy of it, but also at least 1 million less people too.
Yeah, so the numbers kind of add up. See?
Yeah, 80s were much worse than what they are today. You just didn't see it.
You be fudging numbers, yo. Let me say something.
Yeah.
Everybody tune in Monday for Dr. Marilyn Corder. Please support these guys. Watch what they're doing. We're gonna come back. We apologize. I just got to take care of some personal stuff. You understand. Life is different on the outside, but I'm looking at you. Kev, give us some positive affirmation. Chuck, give us some positive affirmation so we can get out of here.
All right. Well, my usual statement, first off, take a break, everybody. Get out, do something, read a book, go for a hike, drink a beer with your friends.
You're up in them damn mountains, ain't you?
Always up in the mountains. I took a good fall on the mountain this week.
I know you did. Lamont, what's going on? I would say it's on par with the 80s. 80s crime was animalistic. All right.
And you can disagree and still be friends.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see out of the world.
Yeah.
All I can say is every now and then take some time for yourself, value the smaller things in life, and every now and then run naked with the wolves, man. You gotta run naked with the wolves every now and then, man. That's Oh my God, man.
Yo, everybody, I don't even know what to say. You got Kevin up in the mountains and you got Chuck running with the wolves. I'm just gonna go take care of this business. I gotta take care. Oh my God. I'll see y'all Monday, man.
Peace and blessings, man. See you guys. All right.
Hold on, fellas. Yeah.